Neben mir sitzt Djurre, der ist Technical Producer von Age of Wonders 3 und auch Teil des Designteams und er kann mir einige Fragen jetzt zu dem neuen Teil der Serie beantworten. So, first off, why return to the series now at this point?
Well, PC games have been popular recently, so we're kind of returning to our roots there. And strategy games and turn-based strategy games are becoming more popular again. So we all really loved the old Age of Wonders, so we kind of took this as an opportunity to make a new Age of Wonders. It's been 10 years, so we were really excited to do this now with all the new technology, all the things we thought we could improve in Age of Wonders.
And what do you improve? How do you translate the gameplay into modern 3D era?
We've basically took our the engine we made Warlord with, so everything is 3D now. There's quite a lot of fun stuff you can do with 3D. So you have different classes and races in the game now, and if you have 3D models, you can actually make each of the units look unique. So we have, say, an infantry unit, that's an elf infantry unit. We have a dwarf infantry unit, etc. And with 3D you can kind of use all your model pieces as Lego pieces and put them together to create new units, each with a unique new look. And the other thing with 3D is, if I look at the maps now, they are so pretty compared to what we did before. I really think that 3D adds to the game while we are still making a beautiful kind of painterly-like feel map.
Okay. And as for the gameplay, Age of Wonders usually had a lot of like micromanagement. You had to look after all your cities. You think that's going to work well with modern players?
What we done there is we kept most of the core mechanical. A lot has changed, but we kept the basis of Age of Wonders Shadow Magic, and what we try to do to make the game more accessible is to explain more in the interface. So we've got a little to-do list for new players, so they can ease into the game and just look at the to-do list, so you don't have to learn all the details in the game, and there's quite a lot of little things in the interface. So there's pop-ups telling you what each of the things does, tells you what an ability does. There's quite a lot of information in the game itself that helps out the player. So we haven't, we've kept all the stuff that was good about Shadow Magic, and in Age of Wonders 3 we try to explain it better and have players get used to it more easily.
Okay, and you changed how you go about using the heroes, especially compared to Shadow Magic, which just kind of coop them up in their towers because they would be most effective from there.
Yeah. We've changed the wizards, so now they are leaders, and we have different classes. So instead of you always being a wizard, you can now be a sorcerer or a theocrat. So that's a big thing. It's much more role-play orientated. Mm-hmm. So each of the different classes is like a role-playing class, only we've scaled those up, each of the role-playing classes. So your priest becomes a theocrat, your warrior becomes a warlord, and a lot of those classes kind of ask to be more active. So it's your warlord can actually lead from the front, so that makes it much more interesting to take them out there to actually go and explore with your leader, so they level up quicker. The big problem there is, of course, they do get killed, but fortunately there's a respawn mechanic in there. So if you lose your leader and you still have your throne room in your city, it will respawn there in 3 turns. Problem, of course, being if your leader is dead and you don't have a throne room, you lose the game. So you need to be really careful, especially in multiplayer games.
So now you only have one place where you can respawn, whereas you had several cities you could respawn before.
No more spamming towers all over the place like in Shadow Magic to make your leader so hard to kill. You really have to pay attention now.
Okay, and can you explain how those roles work, those different role-playing elements? Did you take the wizard apart and now every class has just a part of these abilities?
No, we haven't split up the wizard. We have actually created new roles, so each of the different classes has a unique element. We have the sorcerer, which is kind of the closest thing we had to the old wizards. Sorcerers are really good at summoning different units, add buffing summon units, healing them. They also have quite a lot of domain spells, so you can actually do stuff on the strategic map to either improve your own cities or attack another person's cities and affect their domain. So that's kind of the classic role you would expect from Shadow Magic. Then you have a Warlord, which is much more straightforward, direct force class. So you mass a big army, go out and attack your enemy. And then you have all sorts of different classes with the Dreadnought, which is much more a technology-based class. So he has the big guns and spells that strip the domain for resources. So each has a different, unique role. And things from Shadow Magic, so the different spheres, we still have things like that, but they're secondary picks. So you select your main class, and then next to that you can also select, say, the fire sphere from Shadow Magic or the earth sphere to go along with that.
Okay, and what is the story or the main theme going to be like? Like with Shadow Magic, it was kind of the return of the wizards, and now it's what?
The wizards have all left, and the campaign itself is kind of the old versus the new. So you have the entire backstory, so Djurre and the Elven Court is there, but you also have the Commonwealth, which is kind of like the modern machine. The Dreadnought I mentioned is in there, so more technology focused. So it's kind of a fight between the old and the new in there. That's also reflected in the campaign, so you can play that from both of those sides, and you have an intertwining storyline in the campaign. So there's one big story to play from two sides.
Okay, so what's coming next? When is it coming out, and what are we working on right now?
We're working towards release in Q1 of the coming year, and we're currently wrapping up the game. It's quite far along, as you could see in the demo, and it's tweaking, fixes, optimizing the game, stuff like that.
Okay,